So, you're thinking about going into film? Well, there are so many elements of film you need to learn. Perhaps you're a small-time filmmaker who does almost all aspects of the process by yourself. You obviously can't hire people yet. Or maybe you make films with a group of friends? You might already know this, but you won't be doing everything when it comes to working in your chosen career. Many individuals get involved in a film project. Research, reading, and writing are crucial to the creation of the project. There is a lot of research involved, but the type of research depends on the certain aspect of film you're going into. Editing, lighting, directing, producing, CGI effects, animation, music, cinematography, or screenplay. For the most part, you will be learning this process through experience. Another research method besides actual practice for someone going into film would be to find an actual script, read it, study it, how it's written, and how it's formatted.
Script writing is very important to the process of filmmaking. Script writing, along with storyboarding, is the foundation from which you will derive your story, and that will push your actors and the character development through your story.
One common misconception future filmmakers have when it comes to film is that we don't do a lot of reading and writing. Well, they are wrong. There is a ton of reading when it comes to filmmaking, no matter which aspect of film you're going into. Scripts and storyboard for feature-length films can be up to 100 pages or more, and everyone on set needs to read it. One main tool we have for communication, as you should know, is the script and the storyboard. These help communicate exactly what the film should be about, exactly what the movie is going to look like. It's a huge part of filmmaking, and that's why before you get into film, you need to learn how to read scripts. There is a specific format that everyone uses while creating a script, and there is even a specific script font called Courier New, which looks like this. So let's talk layout. Take a look at this script. What do you see? I see a lot of white space on the page. I see short sentences, some of the text is aligned in the middle, and some of the text is aligned on the left. A lot of it is tabbed twice, and looking at it you can tell whoever designed this knows what they're doing, even if you don't. You can tell it is organized without even reading it. Take a look at this storyboard. What do you see? I see a page that is covered mostly in drawings. There are organized words at the bottom. Without reading it, you should see the words must have something to do with the pictures above them. Let's talk about organization. As for the script, at the very top of the script is where you'll communicate to the editors which transition they should use before the first scene. For example, this script says fade in. It usually does at every beginning of every script. But there are so many other transitions you can use for the script between the scenes, like cut to, dissolve to, smash cut, quick cut, fade in, fade out. Those add something to the scenes. You may not think it adds that much. The fade-ins and outs and dissolves are slower and add a softer vibe. It makes the scene less choppy and more emotional. If you want a choppy scene, on the other hand, that can also add a desired effect, depending on what you're going for. That action scene would look strange with the dissolve effect. After the transition comes the scene heading. The scene heading communicates to everyone working in the movie the exact setting the characters are in. You start with ext or int, which stands for exterior or interior. Exterior means outside. Interior means inside. And after that, see the specific setting. In this case, it says writer's store. That's the setting. We know it's not the inside of the writer's store, but rather outside of it because of the word ext before that. The next thing you'll see listed after that is the time, whether it is night or day. In this case, it is day. This all will help everyone on the set understand the setting and work accordingly. That's where you start with the actions and the dialogue. The action communicates to the actors what actions they are supposed to do, while the dialogue communicates to them what they are supposed to say. This helps everyone know the tone. The character's dialogue includes the name of the character in all caps right above it. These are the first things you will learn about script writing and reading, and they are extremely important. There is also the storyboard, which communicates to the cinematographer exactly what angles they will need to use and how close the camera needs to be to the subjects.
Very important, especially for films that rely on cinematography, or for films such as animated films that if you have a rough image of what you're trying to make, then it will allow the cinematographer, the director of photography, the animators, and any other camera workers to have a clear image of what they're trying to make.
Take a look at this storyboard. It doesn't always have to have a specific format that everyone uses, but it does have to have two very important things on it. One, the picture or drawing of what the scene is supposed to look like. This will show the angle and the intended look and the feeling of the shot. Two, the scene description, including the shot type. For example, a CU is a close-up, MS is a medium shot, WS is a wide shot, and LS meaning long shot. These basic shot designations can really make or break the look of your movie and how professional it looks. It should have a description of what the specific scene will be about. By letting them know what part of the movie it is, it limits the confusion and helps the cinematographer and director of photography understand exactly what tone they should use. The director of photography works a lot with lighting, which can have a huge impact on your scene's intended emotional portrayal. You might have assumed before that the script format just has back and forth conversations between the characters, but as you can see, it has so much more. The language of the script will vary depending on the style of the writers. The scripts are usually informal and usually follow a story structure that begin with the exposition, which is the undisturbed lives of the characters. It introduces the characters to the audience. Following the exposition is the rising action. That's where the story starts to get a little more interesting. It creates the suspense for a story and leads us up to the climax, which is the actual crisis that happens in the film. And finally, after that is the falling action. The falling action comes after the big crisis. It's where everything starts to calm down and it leads us to the resolution. The resolution is the conclusion. It's where the film usually ends. Now, there are exceptions to almost everything in film. For example, experimental films most of the time don't include this story structure in the same way that most feature-length films do. But for the most part, when you go to college for film or start working on films, these are the main types of reading and writing you will see. As you can see, reading and writing and research are very important to the filmmaking process. You have just learned about the importance of those skills in script and storyboard development. Just don't forget to practice, practice, practice. You will only get better with hard work and experience. Good luck!